There's something strange in the neighborhood.
So who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters!
Each sold separately.
Have no fear. Becky, Steph, and Spengler are here. So are these ghosts. They've got ectoplasm. We've been goofed. Now what? Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Let's show this pile of dessert who's boss. Activate Neutrona Blaster. We ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Peter Venkman, Ectoplasm, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and other figures each sold separately. Ghostbusters, new from Kenner.
Hello YouTube, I'm back. After a bit of a long time away, last 3 or 4 weeks, I finally got around to making another video. So, as you guys can imagine, being in lockdown, it's been pretty tough for us toy collectors and toy sellers and toy dealers. A lot of the stock that we usually get hold of on a regular basis, it's not there anymore. And a lot of sellers and sellers, dealers, whatever you want to call us, a lot of the guys that have been struggling to find stuff, struggling to find stuff for their own collection. People aren't going into their lofts, people aren't putting stuff on eBay as much anymore. There's no auctions, there's no car boot sales, there's no charity shops open, flea markets, second-hand shops, nothing. Obviously, online's still open, but it's hard to buy online. I find that at the moment because things like the new Ghostbusters series, which is like the reproductions of the original ones, they are selling out quite quickly. Same as the Star Wars retro line. I went and picked some of those up in Asda the other day, and it was the first time I've been in Asda for like 2.5 weeks. And so I picked up a few. I was quite surprised to see them, to be honest, because every time I've been before, they've never had them. Living in Bristol, it's one of those things where, for some reason, we like the place where you just can't get hold of anything. But luckily, they had them in. So I bought a few. I bought Chewbacca, Princess Leia, Luke, Darth Vader, and Han Solo. They're quite nice for $9.99. But anyway, what we have been doing is, a lot of people have been doing virtual online toy shows, toy fairs, if you will. And Bugsy's Toy Box was the one that I got these toys from. So Bugsy's Toy Box basically did a online fair where they put all their stuff on a table in front of them, and they basically said, we're going to go for every single item, tell you the price, first person to claim it in the comment box gets it. And it was such a good idea. It's such a simple idea because they shifted a lot of stock within the space of maybe an hour. And it also meant that as dealers could buy up other stock to complete collections. Also meant collectors can get hold of stuff that they usually wouldn't get hold of. It was really good, really nice. So I'll put their link to their Facebook page and their YouTube page. They've got a really good YouTube page. They mainly deal in like 80s and 90s toys. So I know a lot of you like that sort of stuff, so you'll love it. So the first thing they had for sale was this figure. So Ghostbusters. I'm collecting Ghostbusters like mad at the moment, trying to find as much as I can. This is Winston. This is the Fright features Winston. So when you push his arm in, his head will rotate and his jaw kind of like goes like a snake, if you will. He's got his emblem on the side. Not much wear on it, which is quite nice. They're usually very, very worn. His hands are quite good condition. Can't see any major scuffs. Overall, he's alright. He's just got a bit of scuffing on his eyebrows that kind of lets him down, really. And he needs maybe a bit of a clean. His feet are a bit scuffed as well, but not too bad. Comes with his weapon. They're usually missing with Ghostbusters figures. I find Ghostbusters figures quite a lot at car boot sales. I usually find, what's his name? Is it Stans, this character here? I find his original release quite a lot. So after the sale, they had a few Ghostbusters figures left over. So I said, what would you do altogether? And they gave me a great deal there. Basically, it was £25 posted, I think, for all these. So you got this guy here, which is, I think his name's Stanz, S-T-A-N-Z, which is played by Dan Aykroyd. I had this figure as a kid and I absolutely loved it. My dad went to a toy shop which was having like an end of clearance sale, and he bought the Ghostbusters house, XO1, XO2, and a load of the Fright figures for me. Because it was the end of the line, Ghostbusters wasn't in anymore. I definitely remember having these free. So we've got Egon Spengler. Emblem's really nice. Hasn't got one on that side, which I don't think he does. He's got his tie always broken, this tie. So when you push his arm down, he goes ooh, and his tie goes up. So if I get the camera to focus in. There you go. So he's pretty cool. Bit of a warning at the moment. If you hear any cat noises, my cat's basically outside having a little play fight, as always. As soon as the camera goes on, the cats want to shine and show themselves off, which can be quite annoying when you're making videos. Then we've got Pinkman. He's cool, his eyes pop out, his hair comes up. These are really cool features. I think they're quite funny. This one needs a bit of a clean, but his emblem's quite good. I mean, overall, I'm quite impressed with these figures. Actually, they'll come with their weapons, apart from Spengler, which might be that might be his Egon. Yeah, it might be Egon's gun in Venkman's hand. Actually, I'm not 100% sure, but don't get him to stand up without falling over. And then we've got some more figures. These ones I think are called Scream. Ghostbusters Scream figures or something. He clicks his arm, and I think there's supposed to be some kind of weapon that fires out there. So there's a button on the back, as you can see, a lever here. So when you click it, his arms flick around, which is quite cool. Usually that mechanism doesn't work. For some reason, these figures aren't. There you go. This camera always likes to go out of focus. Next up we have this police officer. It's one of the Ghost series. Puts his arms in and his, becomes a skeleton. I never had this figure before. I've got a few carded figures of this series. But this one I never had before, so it's quite cool to get that. You got to push his arms back in again, maybe. Oh, that's quite cool. His arms and his legs come out. Now how to make his body go then at the back. He's pretty cool, actually. He's a bit of a clean, but he's generally in quite good condition. And this mechanism still works. He's maybe a little bit yellowed, maybe. But overall, he's quite cool. He's going to be the one that's going to fall down and break everything, I reckon. Nope. We've got another Egon. He's got some hair loss, paint loss on his head. Overall, he's okay. His buttons on the front. I imagine his torso is going to spin. So I don't know if you're supposed to like pump him or something like that. Maybe no. Wind him up. There you go. There you go. I can feel some tension in it now. So I never remember these. I can't remember them at all. I rarely see them on the for sale at like toy shows or anything. There you go. That's it. I always see these Fright feature ones, and I always see the early ones as well. But I never see him. And last but not least, we've got this creature here. He's kind of goal sets. Has like a I think it's supposed to be like a friction machine sort of thing. What it costs the floor and he rolls along. I'm not sure if he's missing some there. I think that might be where the cable goes in. You pull cable out and he goes along. But he's quite cool. So there you go. There's a few figures I don't have in my collection. Some I do. Some are upgrades. Some have some weapons I don't have. So hopefully one day I might do a little video of my collection and show you what I've got so far. I'm slowly collecting Ghostbusters when it's cheap. I'm not going to pay over the top for it because these things are going up in price dramatically right now. Thank you very much to Bugsy's Toy Box for selling these to me. They were such a cheap price. £25 for the lot is perfect for me, especially considering they got their weapons and they're actually not in that bad condition. They just need a bit of a clean, some of them. I'll link their website, their Facebook group. I'll link their YouTube at the bottom of this video. On to the next stuff. So, I have been buying up Action Force like mad. So I've got a few things in this box here. I've been basically buying up everything I can in a week and throwing it into a box. So I haven't opened these up yet, so I don't really know what I've got. So you have to bear with me. Oh, wait a minute. There's some more Ghostbusters. That means that one's pretty much complete. That's quite nice. I think that's the full set of them complete now. And a little ghoul. Right, yes, Action Force. So I think I paid... I think it was £3 these. I'm pretty sure it was. So we have a SAS. He's missing all his emblems. I'm not really sure if he came with emblems or not. Some of them do. I've definitely got some in the bag here that do. And they do. They get scuffed off. But still, these SAS figures are really cool. They're based on the Action Man SAS figure, which came out in the early 80s. So that's that one there. Got this one here, which is it's simply an Action Man ripoff, isn't it? Action Man Captain or something. It's got the Action Man cap, which is really famous Action Man cap. If you're an Action Man, vintage Action Man collector, you recognise that cap because you get it in every single job lot, every single bag of Action Man bits you ever find. You always find that cap. There's two versions of that cap in the Action Man world. There's one with the cross skulls, and there's one with SES. SES is worth a lot of money. But anyway, back to this figure. Yeah, he's alright. He's quite cool. So I can't remember how much I paid for these. It was like only a couple of pounds. We got a diver with his backpack. I find it quite hard to find accessories for Action Force, so it's nice to finally get some. Now this lot I paid £10 for on eBay. My knowledge of Action Force is pretty poor, so it'll be up to you guys to tell me if I got a good deal or not. Or maybe I paid a little bit less for these. I can't remember. I think it was like £10 posted. So I got this guy here who he's got some wear on his hands. He's missing his accessories, I assume. But he's quite cool. He's like a bit of a space age sort of guy. Maybe one of the Navy ones. They got Muton. I've had this carded a few times. He's one of the most easiest carded figures to get hold of. They usually sell between £15 to £30, depending on condition. But it's quite tricky to get complete because he comes with a lot of accessories. SS Diver. This time he's got his some more markings. You can see it says SES on his chest. He's got a bit of wear. Then you got this guy. I think he's like an Arctic Assault guy or something. I really need to read up on Action Force. I'm slowly getting into it. It's just one of those things where it can be quite expensive to get some things and very cheap to get other things. But whenever I do car boot sales and go around car boot sales, I always find Action Force. I mean, I'm pretty sure if it's a busy car boot sale, I'll definitely come away with Action Force. And there you go, another one. A pilot, he's really grubby and worn away. He needs a bit of a clean. So I believe I paid £10 for all those there. The next lot you're going to see now. No, it also came with this one here. Yeah, the rip-off red German basically. So I think because I think I paid £10 for those lot. I think that justified it. His legs are a bit loose, but he is an easy £10 figure all day long. If he had his weapon, I think he's probably double that. He's a very in-demand figure. So this lot I paid. I think it was £24 posted or something for this lot. Some of them are not Action Force, and you'll see now. So we got another one of those red German style soldiers, the Red Baron or something, Baron Blood soldiers. That there to me is like the basic British commando. He would have had a rifle, an SLR sort of gun. He's pretty cool. To me, he's like your typical like Action Man style figure. Got a lot of wear on his face though, and on his beret. Still has his sergeant stripes though. So he put his other side. So I paid. I think it was 20. It's like 20 something plus postage. So that one there, those two there. This one here is another SAS figure. He's okay. He's missing accessories. Another SES figure with his emblem. What I imagine to be like Iron Blood's right hand man sort of thing. He's pretty cool. I'd have loved him as a kid. He's obviously some kind of like evil bad guy. As I said, my knowledge of this range of toys is pretty poor. I'm slowly getting into it, slowly trying to find out what's worth money and what do people want to see and stuff. I know for a fact that I at least have £2 a figure here, so paying £2 a figure is a bit of a gamble, but it's not a bad gamble because I can always get my money back. We have another figure here. It's a bit like a SES Marine or something, very similar to that one there in style, but this is like a different shading of colour. He might just be a bit frosty. The frosting is what happens when the plastic starts to deteriorate. Comes with his rifle, which is always good. It's very hard to get accessories for me for these things. Do you have another machine gun? Not really sure who that goes for. Then we got one of like the special, what I call the special team. In Action Man range, they released these figures as like the special team. He's pretty cool. So I think it was, you know, taking into consideration how much I paid for these, I think I've done alright. Another one of those British Commando parachute regiment looking figures. What else we got? What else we got? Yeah, again, another one of these SES Commando style figures. Another Muton. 2 SES Divers. And then finally, the yellow and blue one with a really bad nose. Now my plan is to kind of clean these up, try and get them sorted into like piles of what's rare, what's in demand, try and get their weapons to go along with them. The more beat up ones I will just maybe drop a lot off and sell. But what else came with this lot was these figures. Now it did say they weren't G.I. Joes, but I remember having these as a kid, and if I remember rightly, they're called, is it Land Corps? They should be marked on their legs or feet somewhere. So yeah, basically these are like I wouldn't say rip-off of G.I. Joe. What about G.I. Joe is, G.I. Joe was just articulated soldier in many different disguises. So I mean, you had flamethrower guy and radio pack guy and mine detector guy, and you had ninjas, and I think any company could really come along and copy them and not get done for it really. So this is what they did. I think they're called Lanard, that's right. So I've got this one here, Lanard Corps, another ninja. They're not worth anything, which is really sad really, because they're quite cool. I mean, they're a bit, I remember having these as a kid, and I didn't really have any military figures like this as a kid. Anything I had was like toy soldiers, so this is pretty cool. I didn't have Action Force, because Action Force just wasn't a thing that I had. I was a bit too old, I'm a bit too young for it. And then my friends who were older, who used to pass the toys down to me, they were a bit too young for it as well, and they were more into He-Man and Thundercats. Some of these Lanard figures are pretty poor quality, like that's me, it's just the worst figure ever. It's like a DJ in some like a 90s club. I'm not sure if any of these figures are actually G.I. Joe. I'm pretty sure they're all Lanard figures. So most of them are pretty rubbish in terms of like the design. Every now and then you get one which is quite cool. Like I think he's pretty cool. He'd fit into the G.I. Joe world quite easily. Pretty sure these are all Leonard and none of them are G.I. Joe. And this guy here, Blondie, and this guy here looks absolutely terrifying. Looks like he's ill. Yeah, so sadly, those Leonard figures are worth absolutely nothing. You literally cannot give them away, unfortunately, which is sad for you. I might just bundle them up and do the whole lot for like £12 postage. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. So that's quite nice. And then last but not least, we've got this little figure here, which might be G.I. Joe. He's not original G.I. Joe. He's going to be a very much more modern G.I. Joe, probably mid-2000s. I can't see any markings on him. 2005, China. Yeah, when you collect G.I. Joe, going by my basic knowledge of G.I. Joe, you want your G.I. Joe figures to be like this sort of articulation. You don't want them to be like this, because these are like the modern style ones, and they are not that collected. Nobody really talks about them. Everybody talks about the original Joes. The original Joes went on for a long time, so you will find them. They're just not that popular over here in the UK. The UK was all about the Action Force. I would actually say, in some ways, that G.I. Joe was, these Leonard figures were more popular than G.I. Joe, because I had these, my brother had these, my mates had these. I don't know anybody who had a G.I. Joe figure that looked like this, like in the day. Obviously, there was people who had Action Force, so they knew what Action Force was, but I didn't have it. But yeah, very hard to find this style G.I. Joe in the UK. So instead, we had these Leonard figures instead. So yeah, thank you very much to Bugsy's Toy Box for selling me those Ghostbusters figures. Really appreciate it. It's a great price, and it's a good towards my little Ghostbuster project. These Action Force figures, they're really cool. I'm gonna, as I said, check them out, the prices out, and I'm gonna try and bundle them up, sell some of them myself. So if anybody's interested in any of the figures, give me a shout. These Leonard figures, the same. I'm going to bundle up as a lot. So if anybody's interested, I could probably do £12 posted in the UK for those Leonard figures. And I'll throw in this little G.I. Joe figure as well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope to get some more videos out to you soon. Stay safe in lockdown. Cheers, guys.